Capitol together, where lawmakers are still looking for answers about the chaotic U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan more than 2.5 years ago. Now the House Foreign Affairs Committee is gearing up to grill two of the country's top military officials from that time, including retired General Mark Milley, the former Joint Chiefs of Staff chairman, who last year called the withdrawal a strategic failure. Alina Shirazi is live for us on Capitol Hill this morning. Alina, I understand you got your hands on the committee chair's opening remarks. What is he prepared to say today?
Markie, good morning to you. Yes, we did get our hands on those remarks, and it looks like the chairman plans to point out what he calls failures in the Biden administration's handling of the Afghanistan pullout. We know that we're expected to hear the testimonies of two former retired top generals, but we know that this is going to be a very high stakes meeting. And those retired generals include Mark Milley. He's the former chair of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. He's set to testify along with retired General Kenneth McKenzie. He's the former head of U.S. Central Command. And again, we're told this is the first time that these retired generals are set to testify since they've been retired. And again, NewsNation obtained Committee Chairman Michael McCaul's remarks ahead of the hearing. McCaul says their investigation has uncovered repeated instances of the White House refusing to listen to warnings about the situation on the ground in the country. He also adds that the committee has learned the State Department did not request an emergency evacuation until after Kabul was surrounded. Last month, McCaul threatened to hold Secretary of State Antony Blinken in contempt of Congress for what he says is a failure to turn over all of the required documents relating to that withdrawal. He postponed that after Blinken agreed to send them, but he says in his remarks he's continuing to look for any documents related to the pullout. For some, though, the hearing today hits very close to home. I got to speak with Mel Ghani last night. He's the nephew of Ashraf Ghani, the former president of Afghanistan, who fled when the troops were pulled. He tells me when his uncle fled the country and American troops left, he witnessed the Taliban fill in the empty space that was left in the country. Here's a part of that interview.
The Biden administration's other biggest stain on their history will be Afghanistan. There's no doubt about that. Their timely exit was not a timely exit at all. They've left in the peak fighting season of the Taliban. They've left several U.S. bases to the Afghan government in the middle of the night without even leaving as far as a note to the Afghan government. And then they expect the Afghan government to go and fight a war?
Markie, while there's been scrutiny, obviously, on both sides of the issue, we know that President Biden, he's hammered home multiple times that he does not regret his decision in Afghanistan. And he's also added that he inherited the pullout plan from former President Trump. As for what these two generals are set to say, former generals are set to testify. We'll wait to hear from them in a few hours from now. Markie?
Yeah, we'll be listening and watching in closely. Alina Shirazi, thanks so much.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. Also, don't forget to click that red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.